Want to retrain your brain for success? Yeah, of course you do.
A better you starts today.
Well, thank you for going past the intro. I'm just going to assume that you're going to watch to the end. If you don't, make sure that you like and subscribe. That's just a little insurance policy of mine. And why do I know to say that? Because I've trained my brain for success. Want to know how to do it? Well, it's kind of actually a bit longer than this, but anyway, the thing is, and you know, like when I say I've trained my brain for success, all I'm just talking about is I bet you are such a little dirty, filthy little cooming addict online that you're currently got like a couple of porn browsers there, and then over here you're just being like, is World of Warcraft going to go to its former glory again? Like you'll just be reading about that to go and play it more, and you have all of these low passive activities, and that's all I really do think that like a successful brain is. One that is just not doing passive activities. He's doing things that are active, that are engaging, that give it something where it learns, grows, moves towards a goal. That's active activities. Passive is just kind of like, I want to switch my brain off and pretend I'm not me for a bit because of the crippling pain that I live in. Mentally, because I'm a loser. Right? So we're trying to get you out of that as much as possible. We want you to be moving towards your goals as much as possible, because guess what? Most people are not moving towards their goals. They are sitting around getting worse. I know I've just said this like 1,000 times. I was just thinking of another way to say it, but no, there really isn't. That is so crucial. So crucial. You engaging and stimulating your brain definitely towards a path of something that you want to achieve in life. That's great. But just generally out there being like, oh, air, that's a different colored bark. You want to be doing these kinds of things, because every time you have one of those novel different experiences or realizations, what happens? You get an extra wrinkle in your brain. That's what we're looking for. Gains! Brain gains! How do we get the brain gain? Well, you know, there is a lot of research into this, and the classic that they're always giving is athletes. Yeah, that if an athlete, you've definitely heard this before, right? If you haven't learned this, fuck, you're a loser. You are such an idiot if you don't know this. Okay? Just, if you don't know this, you really need to sign up to Jordan Shakes. It's, you have so much to catch up on. But the classic is, athletes, they go out, they do their little runs. Oh, wouldn't you know, the athletes that were thinking in their mind about running when they were just in like cardio recouping or whatever, guess what? It turns out that them just imagining running the track and improving while they're running the track, almost as good as the real thing. Because the human mind doesn't really know the difference between things that are imagined and things that are memory. Because, in fact, a lot of your memories are just things that you imagined, and then you're just like, oh yeah, that's right, my dad was a purple hyena. I don't know why he was purple though, it must have been like a factory accident. There's a lot of that. That's how you get a lot of these memories in your head that you're just like, no, it was definitely vivid. No, it was touch up as a kid. That happens a lot as well. How dark is this? A lot of people that accuse other people of like touching them up as kids, it was just because they were reading newspapers about other kids getting touched up, and so they just go like, yeah, that happened to me. And then they'd send somebody innocent to jail. But that's what the human brain can do. So let's not do it to send innocent. That's one of the most heinous things I've ever heard in my life. Let's not train ourselves to do that. Let's instead train it to do successful things. And so I am thinking about this from, all right, if you wanted to do it from the physical level, you could definitely do that. But it is exactly the same with the mental level. Here's the difference. The reason that your life is constantly caught in a rut, check out the video that we did on ruts, but when it's caught in that rut, it is because the human brain just keeps doing what it knew in the past. So it is just acting off of memory, which is why people that are like crackheads and stuff always get into like misadventures, and they have all these mad adventures, and you think, well, what the fuck's going on there? It's because it's like limitless in their head what's happening there. But for most people, it's kind of just this habitual thing of like, get up, go to work, I'm going to get on Facebook at the same time and be so unconscious that I'm not even realizing that I'm going on Facebook at roughly the same time every day. And then I get hungry at exactly the same time. And that's just a biological thing. It's got nothing to do with my habits. and now I have to go home. But I've decided to get a beer again. Like I thought I cut back, but I'm not. And it is because in your mind, you are just reliving the same day. You're having Groundhog Day in your head. You know what this is truly astonishing, right? When people always just poo-poo The Secret and they poo-poo visualization, that's really all that's happening there. You are imagining a different life for you. And here's the interesting thing. When you do it for as little as, say, 7 days, they've noticed that the human brain starts just acting as if that was reality. They start holding themselves in a different way. Like if you started to imagine that you were a rich Eskimo for 7 days, I don't know if you've got enough reference points to know what that is, so that's probably like, let's choose something a little bit simpler there. But maybe if you do know that. But let's choose, you a rich person. Yeah, like you started just imagining that you're a rich person. You will start holding yourself in a different way. Like it starts becoming physiologically registerable on you if you spend 10 to 15 minutes visualizing what that life would be like, maybe just before going to bed, or even better, in the middle of the day where you're fully conscious. That's what starts to happen. You start holding yourself in a different way. If you started thinking in your mind of being like, I'm mad at holding bitches and shit like that, you start becoming one of those douchebags that, let's be honest, wears this exact jacket. That's what starts happening. Because your brain is tricked into thinking, I've got those reference experiences, that's me. The brain always wants something show me the proof. That's what it's always looking for. I'll believe it when I see it. But you can trick the brain by getting it into its mind's eye that, no, you've already done this. And then it goes, oh, okay. And then it just starts behaving that way. So when it becomes becoming a smart person, you know what they figured out? When it comes to creativity, when it comes to being a smart person, you know what psychologists always say? Even when it comes to luck, there are psychologists that will tell you that lucky people that are always saying, I'm lucky, why are they lucky? Because they think that they're lucky. And so they pick up on opportunities that come their way when other people just drown them out. So it's very important to start visualizing the life that you want. Very important. I mean, there's other things like eating and... I don't know, it's probably not a good idea to hold in your piss. There's things other that might be up there, but it's you can get it on, obviously, just keep going on with your crap life if you want, but that is the key. You need to have the vision. You need to have the goal of where you're going to go. And so I can give you all of the classics that I'm always giving on the self-help channel about how to make you, give yourself this just like mad brain gains. Always just, the starters are just reading and making sure that you turn off the internet. But the first way that you do it, the absolute first way, when all of these people are always being like, I tried, but I can't. Why? It's because it is not part of your identity. The only reference points and memories that you have is you ceding to the habit over and over again. How do you stop that? You imagine an alternative where you're not doing it. Where you are not giving into the internet. Where you actually do press self-control. I'm doing that at the end of every night. That's what I'm always doing now. I think that is the single best habit that I've accumulated in the last year. When I go to bed at night, I make sure that I put self-control on, the app that just blocks out the internet. So for at least 3 to 4 hours when I wake up the next day, I kind of time it like that, I can't access the internet. That's crucial. I don't want to see that shit first thing in the morning. And now, when I go on tour with other people and I see them looking at their phone first thing in the morning, and I'm telling you now, they are just more groggy than I am. For the first hour. Like, they're not thinking as much because it's immediately just been like, turns your brain off, right? So, this is what we want from you. We want you to first act like somebody is, somebody that's, intelligent and put together. That's the first thing that we want. That's the first thing that we want for these brain hacks. The very first brain hack is for you to act like you have a clear brain. We want you to think about you having a clear brain. One of those incisive, I'm taking in as much of the situation as I can. I've got that clean feeling in my mind of being able to look around at what's most important and respond to that. Calmly, collectively, astutely, and with focus, with increased focus. A really important part of it is to think that you are somebody that has focus. So, what are we going to do? That's right. You are going to turn off the internet right now and you are going to sit down for 10 minutes and you are going to think that you are one of those like little doctors in their productivity videos where they're sitting there and the little app things are being like, boop, boop, boop. You can turn your brain into this. And they're just wearing like a white skivvy and they're just writing down on a piece of paper without any distractions at all, just being like, weed prescription for you. Yeah, methadone, whatever. I'm sure that you need it. We want you to be one of those people. I want you to just think about you being one of those people that you see in the city that's always walking around with that white singlet and you just know they've got a Tesla, right? Like you just know they've got that clean sense of mind in them and you're going to think about that person. What habits will they have? Probably they'll have a juice first thing in the morning, won't they? They'll probably have like a light salad at lunch, maybe a piece of fish. At dinner time, they'll also just be having clean, green food, maybe a little small piece of meat and something like that, right? Like you're going to think about what a person's brain would be like if they were put together instead of your just scattered little weed brownie now with just a bunch of like pornographic images just being like, oh Jesus, fudge covered ass. Fuck, I've been looking at a lot of black people porn recently. Right, like that's what I want from you. You know? That's what I want from you. So you are going to sit there, you are going to visualize that, you are going to visualize what somebody with a put together brain is. Why are you going to be doing that? Because that's more important than money. That's more important than women, fame, anything else. Because you can get all of it if you have the brain that can focus. The old Buddhist saying that I'm always repeating is, if a man can stare at a watch for 60 seconds, he will have mastered the universe. But the brain always gets distracted. You are going to move closer towards that. So you're going to sit there and you are going to think about you being somebody who has that presence and maintaining of focus vibe about them. You're going to think about what that person's life would be like. And then you're going to do it again for the next 7 days. And then you're going to sign up to Jordan Shanks so that I can tell you to do more stuff and boss you around into being a better person. And if you don't get a better person reading from it, then whatever, that's fine. Keep paying money anyway. You can get up to 3 videos a week. 3 videos a week that are just this, over and over, just being like, hey, listen, dickhead, doing things, making the joy that you do. Look, it's way cheaper than anything else that you could ever pay for in that field. In terms of anything that is going to benefit you, that is the smallest investment for biggest benefit you can imagine. This channel's made millionaires before. It's also made a lot of other people happy. There has been some heartbreaking stories that people have told me about Jordan Shanks, BTW. Heartbreaking stories that, you know, internally I was laughing about. But the thing is, I've moved them out of terrible places, terrible, dark places. And it's not because I'm smart, it's because I just spend a lot of time reading self-help. And if you want that, you can sign up to Jordan Shanks. I'm not giving it away for free, you know.